This is Internet Business Mastery, episode 118.
In a world where bosses control your life and thoughts of escape fill your mind, where inspiration seems dead and cynicism rules the masses, you have a desire to break free. You feel the need to take control. Now, there exists a place where the secrets of freedom and wealth are given to those who believe. InternetBusinessMastery.com. Free your mind.
Hello and welcome to Internet Business Mastery Online at InternetBusinessMastery.com. I'm Sterling.
And I'm Jay.
And we're here to help you escape the 9-to-5 and live the lifestyle of your dreams by turning your life's passion into a profitable internet business, even if you're just getting started today. On this episode of Internet Business Mastery, we talk about how to increase the value of each of your customers so that you make more money. And in the quick tip, we give you our recommendation for adding a security certificate to your website. And we'd like to remind you that if you'd like to get a jump start on creating your own profitable internet business using our proven system, you can claim your risk-free trial membership to the Internet Business Mastery Academy by going to freeaudiogift.com. So Jay, other than planning our London trip, which we're actually in right now as this episode goes up, what else has been going on?
Yeah, about the time that this goes up, I think we might be visiting Stirling Castle. Did you know there's a castle named after you?
Well, of course.
But of course.
But of course, my castle, of course.
They just
in
misspelled
Scotland,
it.
Right?
They spelled it Stirling instead of STE. So you might want to talk to them
they
about
made a
that.
mistake on that. It's only been around for 500 years, but they made a little mistake.
They made a little mistake. Well, let's see, the new website's up. That's kind of been your baby in a lot of ways. So how about you tell us a little bit about what that was all about? Switching, we flipped the switch on it. It kind of went up without a whole lot of fanfare, but it's been a while in the works. What's the deal with the new site?
Well, the funny thing is we've been, some of the stuff that we teach in the academy about how to put a site together had been kind of piecemealed through all these different things that we had done and kind of added to the old site. And one of the themes that we really loved and use on other things as well, we wanted to just incorporate all of that, as well as the 17-point website checklist that we have in the academy. We just wanted to make sure it all looked just like that, as well as giving, just a little facelift to the old site, which had been around for, 3 years? 4 years? I don't know. It feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think this one's been around since, I think it's been like 2008 when we launched that, about the time the Academy launched.
Yeah, and see, we, there's been a bit of a change in the market. We talked a lot before about lifestyle design and that kind of thing, and though we still talk about that stuff in the Academy, it's kind of a crucial part of getting started. The message that we have now is just a little bit different. And we, since we own the business and we survey and we find out what people want, we wanted to make sure we're constantly keeping up to date with that message and what people actually want. And if you go to the site now, and you'll notice at about halfway down on the right-hand side, there's a button that says, "Tell us what you need." And that's a very important button. That's going to let you tell us what you need, what products, what shows you want us to do, anything. That's your big key to talking to us and making sure we give you exactly what you need. I love that button, as well as, of course, getting on the email list so that you can find out when the shows are coming out and anything else we've got going on.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
That's we just wanted to make it just look better and function better and get people what they need.
Well, and if anyone's curious, this is a edited version of a premium WordPress theme. Premium themes are just, a theme that you pay some for, but it's also been very nicely designed, a few extra features and things like that. And then we customized it ourselves. We got it from Woo Themes, which you can go check out by, if you go to goibm.us/theme, goibm.us/theme. That'll take you over to the site where we bought this particular theme that we're using. And incidentally, you might be wondering, well, what's that goibm.us all about? Well, it's a new custom URL shortener that we've put together to use on our site and on Twitter and on the show and things like that. So you might be seeing that pop up a lot more around the around these parts for Internet Business Mastery. So go check out the new site, internetbusinessmastery.com. And if you're interested in the theme that we used, you can get that at goibm.us/theme.
And now, the features segment.
All right, this episode, we're going to have part 3 of our Money Magnifier series. So we had that episode we talked about there's 4 different ways to boost your internet income online. The first one is getting more traffic. Second one was to convert more of that traffic. And now we're on the third one, which is to increase the value of each of your customers, or in other words, how much money each of your buyers ends up giving you. This is about having what we call a back end to your sales funnel, meaning that people don't just buy one thing, but then after they buy one thing, there's also a follow-up and you get them to buy more expensive products or services from you and continue to get value from your business and spend money over time. And so this introduces a really important concept of marketing, sales funnel, and making money online. And that is the lifetime value of each customer, or sometimes you see it abbreviated LTV, lifetime value. And that is to say, what is the average amount that a customer is worth to your business? So, over the lifetime or the period of time that a typical customer spends money with you, after buying whatever different products you have. And if you average that out across all your customers, well, on average, is a customer worth $10 to you? Is it worth $500, $1,000? And that's a metric you may not have measured yet, but, and it may take some time to actually collect enough data to get that. But we're definitely, even if you're not measuring lifetime value of your customers, you might have an idea of about what it is, or whether they're buying on average one product from you, or whether they're, if you have a membership site, you might have an idea of, well, how long do they stay a member of that site? So this is about retention of your membership. It's about getting them to buy more products. It's about getting them to buy more expensive products and getting them to stick around for a longer time as a customer because you keep following up with them, keep the relationship going. So in this episode, we want to talk about how to increase 4 specific ways that you can increase that retention of your customers and the lifetime value that they bring for your business. So number 1 is you got to maintain the relationship with them. After after they buy one thing from you, is that the last that they hear from your business? Do you have any kind of more follow-up of, hey, how are things going with that product? Or, hey, here's something else that if that interested you, this might interest you as well. And, this reminds me, of course, I love music. I love finding out about and following new bands. I'm always online looking for new things to listen to. I listen to music a lot while I work at home. And, when I really like a band, I like to subscribe to their email newsletter or follow their blog and kind of keep up on what they're doing so I know when new music is coming out and things like that. It's sadly, with a lot of bands, you might sign up for their email newsletter, and a lot of them totally misuse their list. The only time that you hear from them is when they want you to buy their new album, or when they want you to attend a show. So, I might have signed up for their email list 2 years ago, not heard from them at all, and all of a sudden I get an email saying, oh, by the way, we've got a tour on the West Coast, come out and see our shows. Which, sure, I want to know about the shows, but by then, I've completely probably forgotten about who they were, what they were up to. The whole relationship thing has been severed. 2 years ago, I was excited about their music and kind of into what was going on, but then there was no communication in between. What about the stuff in between albums and shows? And because they failed to maintain a personal connection, I've kind of forgotten about them. They're no longer the top of my mind. And if all I get from them is nothing but sales messages, well, then the relationship is broken. So having that regular engagement with your own prospects and your current customers is important for encouraging ongoing sales. The money map that we teach inside of the academy and all of our courses for that matter is about building up influence so that when you do make the sale, that influence account, as we call it, is in place. And if you have influence and a relationship and trust built up, then it kind of greases the wheels and makes the selling process very, very easy. So our show here, Internet Business Mastery, it's a relationship building and maintaining a maintenance tool for us. So you want to build a list, and then you want to communicate with them regularly. And that means having a customer list that you communicate regularly in even different ways, because now they've already bought something from you. In fact, that's in many ways a more valuable list than even just your prospect list of people that haven't bought from you yet. So still make sure you give them stellar content or reminders that you're there, of the value that you offer. And then by all means, follow up offers so that you get a second sale and a third sale. And you want kind of an ascension model. Actually, I think we'll talk about that a little bit later in this show. So keep that in mind, the ascension model. We'll talk about that. But number one way to increase retention and increase your lifetime value of each customer is to remember to maintain the relationship with them. All right, number two, make sure you don't overwhelm your customers. One of the most common reasons that you'll lose a member from your membership site, or that you'll get refunds on a coaching course, is that people, they get overwhelmed. They feel like, well, the content's just stacking up. I haven't had time to get to it. And, if they keep getting, at the same time as we talked about maintaining the relationship, you don't want to bombard them either and give them too much. If these emails are building up in their inbox, or the new content is piling up, or, let's say you send out a physical newsletter and they just see it piling up on their desk and they haven't gotten to it because there's just too much, then they get overwhelmed and they start thinking, well, it's a reminder that they're not getting the value of what they're paying for. You want to give them enough that obviously they feel like they're getting value, but not so much that they can't get through it and start seeing the results of that value. And in the past, we always assumed that the best thing we could do is just deliver so much value and so much content and just over-deliver to the point that the customer felt they got way more than they paid for. And while we still like to have some of that with our offers, sadly, this can lead the customers to feel like they're just falling behind. They feel guilty. They don't blame you. They actually blame themselves. It's interesting to see the emails that we'll get when people say, I need to discontinue my participation in this membership program. They say, I'm so sorry. I just haven't been able to, I got great value out of it, but now I've fallen behind. And, I just try to remind them, it's like, look, this is built for you to do at whatever pace is right for you. There's no guilt on your part. There's no blame on our part. Like this, this is for you. So don't stress it. But sometimes that's going to lead people to feeling so overwhelmed that they do back out or cancel, or that they don't buy anymore because they've already got loaded up with so much stuff.
Well, and one of the ways that we overcame that, at least especially in our coaching course, was we started building in catch-up weeks. So a week where we would just say, hey, this is a week just to catch up on stuff that you haven't been able to get to. We don't want you to, feel like you're falling behind. And we would just do that so that, people wouldn't feel too behind to continue. Because really the last thing we want to do in the end is have a customer feel weak and defeated instead of inspired by the product. And certainly the over-delivering thing can lead to that. And even the way, we just want to give so much information when we have a product, we were finding that it was leading to this overwhelm. So that's, catch-up weeks and, giving enough that they get stuff done, but it's just not too much. It's just such the key.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance. I kind of laugh to think about my first ever podcasting coaching course that I taught maybe 5-6 years ago. And in that course, I taught all the ins and outs of digital audio and sampling rates and bit depths and audio compression. And I had these diagrams of like digital audio. And I was a webinar, so I couldn't see the students, but I can imagine that their eyes were just glazing over. They just didn't need to know how to get started. All they needed to know is, what mic should I get? And that's another point, is it's like an example of that I shouldn't recommend 5 to 10 different mics. It's like you can get this one or this one or this one or this one. And I think I did that in my first course as well. It's just like, look, all you need to do is get a USB mic, plug it into your computer, and off you go. They don't need to know that here's how 44.1 kilohertz sample rate works and why this,
Yeah.
They just don't need to know that kind of stuff. They just wanted to know what buttons to click and record so that they can get that result of an MP3 that was recorded and go, wow, that was awesome. Okay, now I'm going to keep going. And, so that's an important lesson that I've learned over the last several years about balancing that out. I used to teach that stuff in college. So for me, it was just like, oh yeah, sampling rates I was just geeking out a little too much for the benefit of the customer or the student. So keep your content streamlined, limit to only what they really need to know. Be specific, give them specific actions to take so that they can get results right now, so that they keep that momentum and that motivation and keep going. In fact, that's one of the most important criteria, that was one of the most important criteria for us in developing the new Academy 2.0. You know, it was about, okay, not only can we update the content, but also can we rearrange it or streamline it down to a way where it's like, look, we're not wasting anyone's time taking side trips or teaching them more than they need to know right now. And maybe this can wait till later or whatever, because it's about momentum and, you know, keeping people excited and getting those results along the way as quickly as possible. That's what people want.
Yeah, it reminds me, like in setting up your website, we'd go, here's 23 ways to tweak your site so that it draws traffic, blah, blah, blah. And then we find 2 plugins that do all of that. And then we don't have to say all that and get, you know, overwhelming. I mean, that's the type of stuff that we, you know, did inside the Academy, as well as going, you don't actually have to know this until 3 months down the road. Why are we teaching it right up front and overwhelming the front end of it, you know? So,
right.
Things you learn over time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, strategy number 3 for increasing the lifetime value of a customer is to develop out what we call your back-end sales funnel, or the back end of your sales funnel. And I don't know if you've ever seen one of these like infomercials online, or maybe an ad in a magazine, and somebody's selling a little widget for, you know, 10 or 15 bucks, and you're looking at it going, how could they possibly be making money? Because that thing itself probably cost them 10 or 15 bucks to make. And, you know, so you just scratch your head. I don't know, maybe I'm too much of a business or marketing geek and I notice those things. But the truth of the matter is any good business, they probably, you know, they don't care if they just cut even on that first sale, because all they're trying to do is build a list of customers that then they can sell other things to. Because at that point, they know they've caught somebody who's interested in a certain type of thing. They've got their mailing address, their email address. They know that they're willing to spend money on these things, and now they can make another offer. In fact, more than likely, within a week of having bought that widget out of the magazine, that person's going to get mail in their mailbox or email in their inbox with follow-up offers that are relevant. It's not like they're just going to get bombarded with anything and everything, but it's like, hey, if you liked that Ginsu knife, then, you know, maybe you'll like having this set of mixing bowls as well for your kitchen. So the back-end sales funnel, you know, you don't want to just sell to your customers once. It's about having a second or a third thing. And even whether it's your own product or affiliate products, if you don't have that back end, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because the vast majority of your income will likely come from the second, third, and fourth sale. And you'll begin to notice that you have the same customers that are buying over and over again, which is why it's great once you've identified them with that first sale to then have a special follow-up just for them. And, you know, as soon as you can find other things to sell them, even if it's just an affiliate product, you're going to start making more money. And fortunately, I learned this lesson just before my first ever seminar. The first kind of thing I did as an information marketer was to hold a seminar for real estate investors, teaching them how to market to find houses to buy and buyers for their houses. And I realized, well, if all I do is sell them into the seminar, I've got all these people who have essentially raised their hand, said, oh yeah, we want to see what you have to offer. And some certain number of those people would be willing to buy other things by the end of that day-long seminar with me. So I signed up for a license with Dan Kennedy's top marketing course. And I think the license cost me like $1,200 or something. And it gave me the right to sell 2 of his products. And by spending that $1,200 and getting that license, so I didn't have time to make my own product. So I was, leveraging someone else's product. But by having the right to sell that product and making that pitch at the end of my event, I was able to sell like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of products at the end of the seminar. So obviously there's a profit there of a couple $1,000s for me just by, having that idea and going, I really should have a back end for my seminar once they show up. So it's just as important, or even more important, to sell your current customers as it is to sell new people to be your customers. Let me re-say that just to make sure I made it clear. It's just as important to sell to the people who've already bought from you, if not more important, as it is to sell to new people at the same time. So keep that in mind. And that's what we call your back-end sales funnel.
Yeah, and in one of my old online businesses that I had, I calculated that my back-end sales rose to about 48% of the business. So if I hadn't have been selling stuff to my already current customers after that initial sale, I would have lost half of my income. And, I noticed that other people that were selling, because it was an eBay business that I had, of course, I bought all my competitors' stuff too, just to see what they were up to. And as far as I could see, they had no back end. And I'm thinking, how are they making it? Just selling on eBay. I mean, it was that doubling of my income that made it all really, really worth it. And we must have close to that percentage with IBM too, if not maybe even a little bit more. What do you think? 48% of our income is from the back end?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on if you consider how, yeah, absolutely. Yep. I would agree with that. No, yeah. And it easily can be half or more of your business that's in the back end. And that brings up a good point that, I mean, an important point to make just regarding lifetime value in general. You're talking about your competitors there. So if you have a solid back end and you're working your conversions really well and keeping up the relationship with your customers and delivering new value to them, the business that has the bigger lifetime value, they're able to spend more money on the front end doing the marketing. And so you can outmarket your competitors because and your competitors might be scratching their head going, isn't he losing money on that offer? But if they don't understand the power of the back end and they may not see all the other money that you make, it allows you to outmarket them, outspend them on the front end because you know that in the end, how much each customer is worth to you. And so that's the power of this, this concept that we're teaching here. And also, I mentioned earlier in the episode, Ascension model. The Ascension model is simply this, that you're trying to get them, on the front end, you get them to buy some entry level product. Maybe it's $27, maybe it's $47, maybe it's $97. I mean, in general, we say, start out with some kind of sub $100 level product of a sort. And then after that, you sell them something slightly more expensive. Maybe now it's a coaching course that costs $500 or $1,000. And then maybe you sell them into, paying you monthly for consulting or for coaching of some sort. So, just raising up the amount of money that they're giving you on a regular basis or getting them to buy bigger and bigger products. Maybe now they're buying a live event from you that they spend a few $1,000s to come to, once they've bought their third or fourth thing. So kind of moving them up to bigger, better, higher level, higher value things, getting more access to you and spending more money, hence also with your business at the same time. All right. So number 4 is to deliver incredible content and service. I mean, obviously just giving them a great product. I mean, it doesn't do any good to get that front end sale, have them get the product and have it turn out to be, just totally crap product. Always want to take care of your customers, obviously. Give them an amazing experience, respond to their feedback and needs, over-deliver when it comes to customer service and taking care of them. Make sure your content is top-notch. You don't have to go overboard in giving them too much. Also, remember, don't overwhelm them, but make sure the quality is above and beyond and also be dependable and do what it is that you'll say that you do. If your customers can't depend on you to have that integrity and deliver in the way that you say you'll deliver, then they're going to go away very quickly and find some other option that will fit their needs. So, make sure that you deliver incredible content and incredible customer service to the customers that you do get.
Yeah, that lifetime customer value goes way down when the first product they buy, which is usually a lower priced product, isn't good. It actually made me remember that it seemed like Dan Kennedy once said that his lifetime customer value was like, I don't know, $2,800, which meant even somebody that bought his $40 a month newsletter, in his mind, based on all the numbers, was worth $2,800. And that's being able to know that, again, that's where the marketing dollars can come in. And you can go, oh, well, I'm willing to spend quite a bit to get somebody into my list because they're worth $2,800 to me. So that's kind of the calculations that I remembered them saying that.
All right. So here are 4 ways that we've just given you to increase that retention, that customer retention and the lifetime value of every customer. Number 1, maintain the relationship with them. Number 2, don't overwhelm your customers. Number 3, develop a back-end sales funnel. And number 4, deliver incredible content and service. So what we would encourage you to do now is just choose one thing that you can do to increase your customer retention and lifetime value. If you're just starting out, you may not know what the lifetime value of your customer is yet, and that's okay. And if you're just starting out, then maybe it's one of the previous money magnifiers that you want to concentrate out on anyway, traffic or conversion or something like that. But, as you're listening to this episode, something might have stuck out to you and go, just to kind of think, yeah, you know what, maybe I could follow up a little bit more with my customers, or, maybe I could start a back end by simply just finding one affiliate product right now that I can offer to my buyers, a week or so after they've bought something from me. So just think of one thing that you can do now to increase your lifetime value, the lifetime value of each of your customers. And if nothing else, add a simple affiliate product to your autoresponder series. Go into your email management program, Aweber, whatever you're using, and just have it set up so that a few days after they buy from you, they get an automatic email that gets shot over to them and says, hey, thanks so much for buying. Want to make sure everything's great. Let me know if you have any questions, but I also wanted to recommend this other product that complements really well, and I love it, and I use it myself, and here's why. And right there, boom, you've developed out your back end a little bit more. So that would be one easy thing that you could do now. But just find one thing based on everything we just went over and get that implemented to increase the lifetime value of each of your customers, and you will see your online income grow rapidly over time.
All right, so we've got a breakthrough this week that comes from the Academy. And it's also a great example of how to work it when you send in a breakthrough. And you might get it while I'm going through this. So let's give it a shot here. January and February have been productive months for me. My email subscriber list for stemgrants.com crossed 500 plus subscribers in January. I launched my promotional website for STEM Grants virtual conference at stemconference.com. I have sold registrations in 20 plus different states and am proud to say that the project is indeed profitable. I launched my new website for my new project at freelancecatapult.com. I have recorded and released 2 podcasts for Freelance Catapult and got them into iTunes. I'm feeling really good about 2011 so far. This activity combined with other work has been very demanding, but I believe it will all pay off in the long term. And that's from Paul Sakor. I think that's his name, how you say it, who's an Internet Business Mastery Academy member. And again, if you didn't catch the 18 different sites he had in there, I'll say them again. It's stemgrants.com, stemconference.com, and Freelance Catapult in iTunes. What do you think of that? That breakthrough.
Paul's been a busy guy. That's a lot.
Yeah. Not only busy, he knew exactly how to say things so that we can get him some traffic there.
Right.
Every site he's got. We'll
Good
say it a couple of
job.
times.
Good job getting all the URLs in there and get a little promotion for that. That's awesome. But I mean, that's really cool. I mean, as always, we love hearing breakthroughs and getting to 500 subscribers on your email list. That's a significant milestone. I mean, that's certainly some momentum building. I'm not sure what STEM Conference is all about, but the fact that it's a profitable project for him is thrilling. And to boot, a new podcast, it's just good stuff. I'm going to have to check that out. Let's see, what was it? Freelance Catapult. I'll definitely take a look at that.
Well, and all of that done in 2 months. That's amazing. Good job.
It's time for the Internet Business Quick Tip.
All right, on this episode's Quick Tip, we're going to talk about security certificates. Yes!
Oh, so exciting.
Thrilling!
Yeah, when I saw this one, I was like, I cannot wait to get to the Quick Tip. A security... What is it?
What is it?
A security
what?
certificate. Yes!
Let's talk about insecurity certificates.
Oh, great.
That sounds a lot more
having
interesting.
One, I think is...
Okay, well, just briefly, what in the heck is a security certificate? Well, the truth of the matter is, more than likely you're not going to need it for your website. But anytime, obviously, you are taking orders with like credit cards, people are entering in a credit card to buy a product, that has to be on a page that is secure so that information is, encrypted, encoded to be sent over the internet so that they can feel safe about their information being sent if it's not. And so that's why you'll see, you may or may not have noticed, but like on pages that you enter credit card information, usually it'll say HTTPS, meaning it's a secure connection. And, usually that's taken care of if you're using some kind of shopping cart or PayPal or, like One Shopping Cart or Infusionsoft or any of these things, because, as soon as they click the order button, they're sent to the One Shopping Cart site and the order form is done through their secure pages. Or if you send them to an Infusionsoft site or to PayPal, it's done through their secure website. So the only reason you'd need to have a secure connection through your own website is if you were doing some kind of, fancy order forms on your own site, custom stuff. And in that case, you are going to need to be able to do that HTTPS type thing, which we did do, last year at one point as we were trying some new things out. So on the chance that somebody might be wondering about how to do such things, we just used simply VeriSign, which is spelled VeriSign. And I believe they've recently been bought by Symantec, who makes, Norton Security and stuff like that. But if you are looking for a security certificate, VeriSign's our recommendation. It does cost a few $100s, and you have to verify some of your information, and it's a yearly certificate that you renew. But if that sounds like something that would be of benefit to you, we recommend checking out VeriSign.
Now, if you'd like dozens of other resources such as this one, you can find them in the Internet Business Mastery Academy, along with video tutorials showing you exactly how we use them. To get a 30-day no-risk trial membership to the Internet Business Mastery Academy, visit freeaudiogift.com. That's it for this episode of Internet Business Mastery. Until next time, we wish you ultimate success in your internet business.
You've been listening to the iconoclasts of the 9 to 5 and the purveyors of freedom and fulfillment, Sterling and Jay. Sterling and Jay invite you to discover one of their most popular audio programs ever. The 3 Pillars of Designing Your Ultimate Internet Lifestyle. Visit freeaudiogift.com now and sign up for the free weekly Internet Business Mastery email newsletter. And you'll get instant access to this life-changing audio presentation, pulled directly from the content of the acclaimed Internet Business Mastery Academy membership community. Go now to freeaudiogift.com. Internet Business Mastery. Free your mind.